Hello, listeners. This is F. Molina, and I got with me
Samir, the man Ahmed. And today we're here with Eric Dickerson, NFL Hall of Fame running back out in Los Angeles. Eric, thanks for joining us today.
No problem. Glad to have you guys have me on.
Great. Eric, I know you get asked a lot of questions about the NFL and everything. May ask you a couple of the things that have been recently going on here in the NFL news, and then have some fun questions with you afterwards. Yeah. But first thing I want to talk to you about is, a lot of people that know you know about the history of the SMU and the big scandal, the death penalty and all that. What are your takes on the NIL issues going on now? What's your thoughts on, hey, okay, now they're paying these kids, but it is the Wild West.
Man, it was the Wild West back then. The funny thing is, it's just like they honed in on us, SMU, because we were a smaller school. We were really good. We were getting all the good athletes, and the Texas and the A&Ms, and they couldn't understand that. They couldn't comprehend that. Why would you want to come play for us instead of playing a school like SMU? And that caused a problem. I think it's great with the NILs. I mean, look. A little bit of I always make fun about, I took a pay cut when I got to the Rams, and then that's a joke. I mean, the thing is that, look, I got $500. I mean, that was, think about it, $500 a month, and a lot of that went back to my mother, trying to help her, my great aunt who raised me. So it wasn't life changing. It really wasn't like changed my life. I mean, and the school who offered me the most money, which is Texas A&M, I didn't go there. I mean, I didn't want to go to that school. And I'm not saying A&M was a great school, but it just wasn't for me at the time. I think the NILs are great because I've always said, why is it that the players do all the work and the establishment, the NCAA, the coaches, and everybody make the money? I mean, that's just unfair. And the first thing someone said, well, you get an education. Well, hell, let me pay for my education. Let me get this money. If that's the case, because look, most kids don't go to school to graduate. Let's just be honest. No, especially athletes, football players, basketball players. Most of those guys go there to possibly play in professional football or professional basketball. And I just thought it was always just so wrong. And I'm glad that they're changing that, because why is it that the kids can't make something off of it? Because look, when you go play for a university or wherever you play, you're putting your body on the line. You're young. You're putting your body on the line, and you don't have any guarantees after. And I think that if you can give a kid a jump start with some money, while they're in school, and they can maybe save some of that money when they get out, they can have a jump on life, and they don't have to depend on mama or grandma to try to subsidize what they don't have. I think it's fantastic. Like I said, the president of the NCAA is getting paid. The coaches are getting paid. The NCAA, they get all these television deals. When you look back, and I can't think of the name of the guy who wrote the NCAA bylaws, and he said it's a form of slavery. And I'm not talking about the slavery beating you over the back, whipping, but it really is. Think about it. It's that the players are doing all the work, and the establishment is making all the money, and they didn't get a chance to, we never got a chance to really get anything from it. I can take your jersey and I can sell it with your name on it. You sign it, and the school can make money. But if I sell it personally, then I get saying I'm kicked out. I'm kicked out the team. I mean, I just never saw. I never got. So I'm really happy that the NIL is going the way it's going. I mean, I'm sure they have a lot of work to do, a lot more to do on it, but I think it's going in the right direction.
Just don't know if it needs to be regulated or what's going to happen, but I agree with you that, these coaches making $8-10 million a year, kids ought to get something.
Yeah, I mean, I talked to Rick Hart about it, and I didn't know that. I think every conference does it different. I think every conference, which is fine. I mean, I just feel like this is one thing that I feel like, like you said, that a girl, I think at SMU, her name is Sam, and Sam's club is using, they pay her to do things. And I think that's great. Well, why wouldn't it? I mean, what's wrong with that? Yep. I mean, it's not like, it's not like you're going to play harder because you're getting money. You're going to play hard no matter what. You can play. That's how sports is. You're trying to help your team win. Now, if you pick a school because of the money, hey, so be it. It's like taking a job. If I got an offer over here at Xerox for $1 and Amazon is offering me $15, well, which one do you think I'm gonna take? Yeah. I'm gonna take this $15. So, I mean, it just doesn't make sense.
One of the other issues that is prevalent right now is what happened to Damar Hamlin in Cincinnati. I'm curious what your thoughts are. He's been pretty quiet about what he thinks caused his cardiac arrest. There's been some speculation as to the COVID vaccine. Now, I also know that, the NFL was forcing these players to get the vaccine. Do you have any thoughts about that?
Well, I think that's a touchy subject because I feel like every person is different when it comes to the COVID vaccine. I think every person is different. This is my belief. It's like you can take aspirin and it has no effect on it at all. And aspirin is for a headache or pain. That's great. And it may work on 50% of the people, but that other 50% that take aspirin may have an adverse reaction to. And that's what I believe. Because I have an autoimmune disorder. My daughter has. I have to be careful with that because if I take something and all of a sudden I die, it ain't no do-overs. And the first thing I'm gonna say, well, it wasn't from the vaccine. Well, how in the hell do you know it wasn't from the vaccine? I mean, everybody's body is different. I mean, that's like every car is different, every computer is different. And so I'm not a big advocate of the vaccine. I feel like if you want to take the vaccine, it makes you feel better. I have no problem with it at all. I just don't feel like that. I've had people try to, man, you need to get that vaccine. I'm like, man, how you going to tell me to put something in my body that you don't know what the hell it is? I mean, just because the doctors say it's right, it doesn't mean it works for me. I mean, and you've seen so many surveys of doctors saying that it's not good for kids. It's not good for people. It's causing this, it's causing that. And then on the other hand, oh no, it's not doing this. I don't know. And for Damar Hamlin, I don't know what happened with him. I mean, I think all of us former players that hadn't had the vaccine thought, man, I want that from that vaccine. They don't want to say because it's all about the money. It's about dollars and cents. Now you know that. I mean, they can say it's not. It's about it. But let's stop the move. It's about the money. That's what it comes down to. If you take 10 people, those 10 people die, but you can make say $38 billion, or even 100 people. They'd say, oh, that's worth it. If 1,000 people, if I can make 38 billion, it's worth those thousands. That's how they look at it. So I'm not a big advocate for that vaccine, but like if it makes a person feel better about it, then hey, no problem.
That's one of the issues is like, these NFL, whatnot, forcing people to say you can't play unless you get this vaccine. I don't know what that does to them mentally, but
I think they were pushing it at first.
Yeah.
And then I think at the end, they didn't want to know. Like the players are fighting. And like, okay, we just don't want to know. If you got it, you say you got it, that's fine. The NFL is about that money. To get the field. The jersey can't run around by itself.
Now, let's say poor Damar is unable to play. What does his financial future look like? Does the NFL do anything? I mean, this happened on the field. There's no question about it. But what do you think is going to happen to him a year or two down the road? If I know they paid him the rest of the contract, but what happens in the future?
That's a great question, Samir, because the NFL has no guarantees. The big thing is that healthcare. That's the big thing for healthcare. I fought for that for a couple of years ago. Tried to help players get healthcare, and they made me look like I was a bad guy, like I was getting something out of it. I'm like, what the hell am I getting out of it? Like I'm going out. You think I'm going to get me? I just want healthcare for retired players. That's what I want. Right now, in case people that's listening don't know, in the NFL, when in my time when you retired, you had no healthcare. Nothing. You pay for your own health care. And if you didn't pay for it, you didn't have health care. I know quite a few players that passed away because they couldn't afford health. One in particular guy was just a good buddy of mine, man. It makes me sad thinking about it. He couldn't afford the blood pressure medication, and he ended up having a stroke and dying because he couldn't afford it. And we have no health care in the NFL. In the NFL now, they have health care for 5 years after you retire. And so think about this. If the NFL career of an NFL player is only 3 years, 3.5 years. So if you retire at 30 years old and you have health care for 5 years, and a lot of guys don't make a lot of money. Everybody thinks that players that play in the National Football League make all this money. It's only 4 or 5 guys on a team that's making real money, like sometimes life-changing money. Everybody else making it, but they're not making that life-changing money. And sometimes they don't know what to do with it. So now you've got those 5 years, you're out of football. Now you got to pay for your own health care. Health care is expensive and it's going up. So if you can't afford it, you're stuck. Now, why can't we have health? Basketball has health care for their players for lifetime. Baseball has the best health care that I know of. You play one game, Major League Baseball, you have health care for the rest of your life. Football, it's a joke. I mean, and football is at the point where it's almost like they don't want to hear it. People don't want to hear it because they know it's out there. But if it happens to your son then it's different. That's when it, or your husband then takes on a whole different ramifications, because no one wants to hear the bad, and that's horrible. Think about that. You play a sport, and say you play for 15 years in the National Football League. Just use that number, 15 years, and then you have health care only for 5 years after you retire. I mean, that's ridiculous. I mean, I don't even know a job. And does any job do that? Any other job? But the NFL will say, well, we got all these players. It's not true. Because think about a lot of players that they get 60 years old or 60, they go to Medicare, Medicaid. That kicks in. But the NFL is making so much money. The healthcare is a drop in the bucket for them. It's like if they don't have to do it, why would they do it? It's like the slave master. A slave master, I'm making all this money. He's not gonna wake up one day and say, you know what, this is wrong. I'm gonna go out here and work these fields myself. I'm gonna let all these slaves go, and I'm just gonna do this. It don't work like that. And that's just how. Am I comparing the NFL to the slave master? Yeah, I guess I because that's how they treat a lot of players. And a guy said this to me, and the thing is it's funny that anytime that a black player speaks up or says something, we're angry. The angry black guy. You never hear the angry white guy, the angry Mexican guy, the angry Italian. It's the angry black guy, because we're angry. Man, when they talk about slavery, you have a right to be angry. It's like we talk about the Holocaust. They have a right to be angry, and you should be angry about that. There's nothing wrong with being angry about that. But there's certain things that when you say, you don't have to say, it's not about anger, it's just facts. And some people don't want to hear the facts. And that's really what it comes down to. When you start saying stuff that's actually, then all of a sudden you're angry, you're mad. It's not even that. It's just like, I don't like unfairness. I had a conversation with a reporter, and he's a white guy. And he said, Eric, let me ask you a question. He said, the NFL, he says, 80% of players are black, aren't they? I said, yep. He said, now you probably know I'm white. I could tell him. I said, I know you're white. He said, now I'm going to say this, I'm white. He said, the NFL was 80% white. Y'all would have good health care and good pension. He said, I know that. He said it. I didn't say it. Funny how, now see, this is a white guy saying this. But when we come out and say it, we angry, we blessed, we doing this, we made enough money. I mean, and a lot of guys didn't make a lot of money, but that just goes to show the mentality. I mean, we know it's a big disparity. It really is between black and white. I mean, and it's white guys going through the same thing that black guys going through in the NFL. They treat them the same way, because I know guys, Lyndon Kane is a buddy of mine, white guy, linebacker, plays for the Raiders and the Chargers. And he feels the same way. He feels like, man, it's just so wrong how they treat the retired players. But like I say, nobody wants to hear it.
The NFL honors that just happened at the Super Bowl, and I read your post about not being invited. I mean, Eric, your name is in the record books. You held records for almost 40 years. Some records may not be broken even when they extend the season. You think it's for what you're just talking about that you don't get invited anymore?
Look, first of all, Samir, I've never been an NFL one of their favorites, because I'm too outspoken. I'm not a houseboy. That's just not me. I'm not that guy. I mean, I don't care what color you're. It doesn't make a difference what color you're. I'm for right, and I'm just not. I'm not popular. I won't forget when they called me, when they told me I was gonna make the 100 greatest players in the National Football League. That I was gonna make that list. I started laughing. I said, man, I'm shocked. I told him, I said, I'm shocked. I said, I know I'm not y'all's kind of guy. I'm just shocked. And even when Goodell called me, I told him the same thing. I said, thanks. I said, I'm shocked. I said, I know I'm not one of y'all's favorites. Because I'm just not. I mean, when you speak up against the establishment and you say certain things, it's just not popular. And I'm gonna tell you, you got a bunch of houseboys. We call them houseboys. That's what they are. We call them Uncle Charlie's boys. We got a bunch of Uncle Charlie's boys that played in the National Football League. They're scared to say anything against the league. It's like, I'll give you a good example. I spoke up about disability. I was very vocal about it, because I get disability. And I talked about DeMar Smith and the NFL. And I got a letter the next day. The next day I got it saying that they were going to look into my disability, trying to suspend it. I say, have at it. I said, because I'm gonna sue y'all's asses. I mean, it's a joke. They don't want you to say anything. If players know it, it's like, man, you can't say that. You can't do that. Man. I mean, when I did the deal with trying to help the guys with healthcare, my friend Ricky Jackson, I won't forget, he called me after the call, because we had a bunch of guys on the call. He said, Eric, man, let me tell you something, Eric. He said, man, don't put yourself out there like this, because I told him, I said, all right, I'll spearhead if you want. This guy, I don't know, I don't got the time. I said, I have the time either, but I do it. He said, man, Eric, I'm telling you, man, these guys are going back. He said, they are afraid. He said, trust me, you're going to find out. It's a bunch of them, they chicken. And boy, he was not lying. I mean, there's some guys, I can tell you, some players, I won't say that, I've lost total respect. I mean, I just don't look at them the same. You find, man, you know who has the balls, families, lifetime, believe it or not? It's the wives.
The wives, yeah.
The wives. And you know why the wives do? Because the wives are the ones that are stuck with our old broke up asses. We're broken, we can't remember anything, we can't get around. I mean, think about Mike Webster, who played for the Pittsburgh Steelers all those years. This man was living in a car, pulling his teeth out with pliers. Now, you think the NFL didn't know this? I mean, to me, it's just, when I think about situations like that, why would you let a great player like that go out like that with mental health issues? I mean, saying that, you get hit that, it didn't come from playing football. You got that lawsuit with the guys for suing the disability. 29 out of 29 guys are denied. I mean, all of them black, of course. We know that. I mean, that's how it works. You've got guys who've gotten paid with the CTE kickers, they white kickers. I mean, and no offense. I mean, it's what it is. I mean, when the hell a kicker gonna get beat up? I mean, you got guys who played linebacker, they deny him. You got guys who played tackle, guard, running back, they deny him. But some of these white guys are not. And look, we all in the same brotherhood. I mean, I'm not hating on the guy. I'm glad those guys got money, because you know what, Samir, they deserve it. Every guy that played it, that put their hand in the dirt, that played this sport, they deserve it. My thing is, just treat us all the same. Don't pick and choose, just like when they did the race norming. And you know what they said when the race norming? Yeah, we did it. Because what we take a race norming years first, you know what it is. They lowered, the black guys already had a lower IQ basically than the white players. So we were already basically dumb. So we're not gonna get any dumber. They just make it lamer term. We don't get no dumber. So they were denying all the black players, the white players were getting paid. And like, now, how can you do that? And then when they got caught, their reply is, yeah, we did it, but we won't do it again. Yeah. So, I mean, what do you say?
That kind of ties into, what is your thoughts about black head coaches? I mean, there's a lot of speculation out there. Eric Bieniemy just won the Super Bowl.
It's Black History Month.
It's Black History Month.
And I was thinking, I was like, I can't even name 5 current
NFL
five black coaches.
There's maybe 2.
Neither can I. I mean, the only one that comes into mind is really the coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. I mean, he's had that job forever.
Yep.
God, what's his name?
Mike Tomlin.
Mike Tomlin. I mean, great coach, a great guy. I mean, the funny thing is, this goes back to when I played. Guys were trying to get into coaching, and like some of the linebackers, defensive linemen, some of the quarterbacks, and they said, man, it's funny that I was the starting linebacker on my team. I called the defenses. I said everybody in the right spot, but I can't coach. I don't have the knowledge to coach. He said, what the hell is that all about? I mean, that's what amazes me in this. I mean, look, let's just keep it 100. The white owners and stuff, they feel better with people that look like them. They want people that look like them. I mean, it's just true. I mean, I can't blame them. I mean, if you want somebody to look like you, fine. I mean, I think the only way that the NFL is going to ever change, or anything is going to change, is that you have to have multiple black owners. And I mean, 3 to 4 black owners. Now, I'll never see that in my life, because they ain't going to allow that to happen no time soon. But that's the way it's going to change, because then, the black owners, if they're not, the Uncle Charlie's kind of black owners, which, they're going to do what's best for their football team and in their organization. And we made a joke about it. I said, if you got a black owner, and he said he has everybody black. And I said, he won a couple of Super Bowls. Oh, you can't do that now. You got to change that. You can't have all these black guys. You got black deans, you got black secretaries. You can't have that kind of stuff. We can't do that. They have to change that. So, I mean, that's the only thing that's going to have to change, man. I think about the black, all these guys are qualified. Eric Bieniemy is qualified. But, when you think about it. You look at Eric Bieniemy. Eric Bieniemy is a short, heavy-set black guy, bald head. You look at him and go, wow, he's good looking. They want the tall, good looking, blonde, blue. That's what they want. Yeah. I mean, seriously. I mean, it is. I get it. I ain't mad at it. If he's a good coach, I don't care what color he is. He could be a short Asian guy. If he knows football, he's a good coach. Hey, man, Hispanic guy, an Indian guy, don't make a difference to me. It's about the guy that's leading that team. And the thing is that as a player, when you play football, you follow your coach. And some coaches are great coaches, and some coaches are horse shit. They don't even deserve to be coach. They don't even deserve to be head coach. Some of them don't even deserve to be in the NFL, but they get these head coaching jobs off of what other coaches have done to them. And sometimes the black coaches is the one who's pushing them along the way. Like I think about my friend Jimmy Ray. Jimmy Ray coached for 40 years. Jimmy Ray was one of the first black coaches, running quarterbacks at I think Michigan State. He was one of the smartest men I've ever known in football. And for Jimmy Ray never to be a head coach, I just thought was the biggest travesty, because I know he wanted to be a head. I mean, he loves football, and it's just amazing that he never got that opportunity to be a head coach.
Yeah.
And then, I'm gonna say this here. Let's see. I'm saying this, but now you know what? People say, "Oh, he sounds angry." He's the angry black guy. I'm black and I'm angry. I'm not angry. You know what? Just telling the truth. I mean, and like the truth is the truth.
Yeah.
Well, one of the crazy things that I saw this last Super Bowl was they made a big deal that there were 2 black quarterbacks, and I was just thinking to myself that this is 2023, and it took this long in order to have 2 black quarterbacks in a Super Bowl. Something that probably should have happened in the 80s, maybe late 90s.
They wouldn't have no black quarterbacks in our area. There was very few, like 1 or 2. That's a position they want to hold strictly for the white player, and we know that. I mean, they tried to keep the offensive line as white as they could for long as they, running back, defensive back, linebackers, they gave us those positions, but no. And yeah, they made a big deal of it. I mean, look, the league is a black league almost. I mean, it's kind of hard. I mean, it's amazing how I think about how they talked about Justin Fields, all these so-called smart guys. Oh, he's not this. He's not a leader. He can't do this. He can't do that. He doesn't have this. He doesn't have that. But wow. But he can't throw the deep pass. Can't throw the accurate pass. But wow, he's in the Super Bowl. And really, they should have won that game, But the other guy on the other team is just that much better. But Joe, wow, he happened to be black. I think about my friend Warren Moon. I asked Warren. I said, Warren, because I said, man, why do you play quarterback? I knew why. Man, why did they let you play quarterback? He said, they tried to move me to receiver and DB. He told me that. And I told him I'm not playing that. So my other option was to go to Canada. And why he wouldn't let him play it? He's black. I mean, he's black. I think about all the records that black players have held, like back in the 30s and 40s, had to play in the black leagues because they couldn't play in the white leagues. Mm-hmm. I think of Satchel Paige, like all the great like baseball players that played, but they were black and color of your skin. I mean, and that is the most ignorant thing to me in the whole world is I'm better than you because of the color of your skin. I just don't get that. I'm not a prejudice person at all. I just don't get it. My thing is, me, Samir, I treat everybody. I mean, I was taught that. My dad taught me that. No one's better than anyone. My girl, she's white. I mean, you think I didn't give her because she's white. Because I loved her. Yeah. She's a good-hearted person. Not because of the color of her skin. My kids are mixed. I mean, my oldest daughter, her mother's Latina. I mean, it's not about that. I mean, I just think I think still here in the United States, we're still ignorant. It's a lot of ignorance. I mean, ignorant people that think that because of the color of your skin or your money, that you're better.
Yep. I know, speaking to coaches, I know you have some coaching experience in your background. Whatever happened with the Lingerie Football League?
The what?
The Lingerie Football.
Hey, that was a funny done thing. I think they still have it.
Well, they got the XFL.
I tell you what, it was some cute girls out there I tell you, them girls, they were serious about their football too.
There's some hits out there on YouTube, man.
They're out there hitting, man. But hey, you like sure are good looking. Like, see how that.
You live like in a haunted house, right?
My house is haunted. Get out's not about a haunted house, really, but yes, my house is haunted. I bought my house brand new in 1986. I've had some issues here at my house, even not just because first I wouldn't tell a lot of people. I didn't tell people. People come in, I let them have their own experiences here, and then they say, "Man, what the hell's going on around this house?" So let me tell you, when I was a kid, I love horror movies. I always wanted a haunted house on a hill, and I gotta say, God gave me exactly what I wanted. I mean, my house sits up here. I'm overlooking the Santa Monica Mountain, right out here. But this is exactly what I got. Exactly what I wanted.
And have there been like anything recently? I saw an episode of what was it?
Haunting of.
Haunting of, where you came out, they interviewed you, and any update?
No, nothing has happened recently. I mean, because I had to have a person come in and ask. It was really scaring my kids. I mean, my oldest daughter, she knew. I mean, it's funny when I talked to Eric. She said, "Your dad, you know that house haunted? You know, all this stuff, people walking around, and you know the guy with the tall hat on." I mean, all of them said the same thing. The guy with the big hat, the guy with the big hat, the Abraham Lincoln hat. Even my gardener saw him. We were out of town, and I have a window that faces the driveway, and the gardener said, "Penny, Miss Penny, y'all were out of town, weren't you?" He said, "Yeah." He said, "I saw a guy standing in the window looking out at me with a tall like Abraham Lincoln hat on." I thought that guy's always. But it's just something, you know. It's something you get used to after a while. I mean, I've had my moments where it really kind of got me. I mean, early when I first moved in here, where I mean, seriously, like some come to like, "Hey, man, I don't know if I can do this." But after a while, you know, I'm used to it now.
How's it going with Justin Bieber? Is he
going? I ain't seen Justin. Man, Justin, yeah, he was young. He didn't live in here. He lived the next exit up.
Watch my smoke.
Watch my smoke. That is how long did it take you to write that book, and what made you want to write it?
About from beginning to end, probably about 2 years. I don't know. I mean, people had talked to me about a book before, and you know, and to tell some of the story, but man, Eric, man, your life is just so interesting. Man, you gotta write a book. And sure enough, my friend Gustavo Miguel put me with the right writer, Greg Hanlon. And it came out great. I mean, he did a great job. It sounds just like me. I think when you do a book, you have to have the right guy. And then, like I said, this is my first real book that I've done. You know, I'm doing like pretty much all the talking. I did an audio book, and I'm really proud of it. Matter of fact, he's doing my friend Christian Okoye's book also, because Christian read mine. He said, "Man, it sounds just like you." And it does. I mean, it sounds like, because I had some people try before, you know, did some tests and wrote some stuff, and man, it didn't sound anything like me. I mean, like guy and golly gee. Golly gee, that's not how I talk. I mean, I'm gonna tell you another reason I did it too, because I just feel like one day I won't really remember all these things. I mean, I right now I have a pretty good memory of certain things. I can remember certain things I don't remember. But I'm glad I did it, because you know, when I look back, I look at my life, and I especially, I'm gonna tell you, I went to see my friend Jim Brown last week. I went to see him the last couple of weeks, like a couple of last weeks in a row. And when I see Jim, and Jim is 88 years old, and I'm like, wow, man, I mean, he's not the guy he used to be, for sure. Just not that guy. And I'm like, one day maybe I'll be like that, you know, just kind of just staring into space. I mean, he talks a little bit, you know, he laughs a little bit, but he's not the Jim that I knew, you know, 5 or 6 years ago. He's not that guy. And I mean, you know, the thing is, it's funny how my dad would say, "Son, you know, time gets us all. You know, time waits on no man." And when I looked at Jim, it really brought back what my dad said to me, you know, really, because you do just get older. Time keeps ticking by. And if you walk around, just look at your mom and dad, look at your own parents, and just think, once upon a time, they were 22 years old. They were 19 years old. But now they're 70, 60, 80 years old. It's amazing. So I'm glad I did it for those reasons, for my kids, because, you know, one day I won't be here, you know, and hopefully this will all be there.
I don't know, Severe. Can I ask him a very controversial?
Oh, for sure.
All right. Okay, because this one's pretty controversial. So,
okay.
But we're going to get the exclusive right now. What is your opinion on the UFOs / balloons that are being shot down? What are your thoughts?
Man, I'm going to tell you something. It's fun. That's a great question, too. Because let me tell you, man, I've said this for years. I'm like, just walk out. Look at this guy. Do you think we're the only thing here? I mean, it almost sounds stupid when somebody says, yeah. I'm like, that's like going to the ocean and saying, "Man, there's no sharks in that water." That's like saying there's no salt in that ocean. It don't even make sense, man. For sure, I believe in UFO. What do you want to call things from other planets? I mean, what do you believe? Let me ask you that question. Do you think we're the only thing in this whole universe?
You know what, Eric? I hope not, because if we are, that says a very sad thing about our entire galaxy and universe. I hope there's more intelligent life than us.
I think it's a whole nother. I believe a whole nother universe out there, another duplicate maybe of Earth, just like this, with another whole different. Hopefully they're doing better than we doing on this planet. because we're killing this planet. But yes, I believe in that kind of stuff. I've always have. I believe in the spirit world and all that because it's like I believe it's life after death. People don't want to talk about that. It's funny when you go through religion, what people believe and what they believe in the afterlife. Some people don't believe, some people do believe, and it's just everybody has their own opinions. There's a couple of things that you can't get people to agree on, and that's politics, religion, and how to raise your kids. Those three things, everybody's gonna have a real different opinion. I think everybody go outside and say, it's air out here. I think we all agree, it's air outside. But those other things, no. I have three kids because I have an older daughter, it's Erica. I have a granddaughter, Irie. Erica's very smart. She has a podcast called Good Moms, Bad Decisions. She has a book coming out. Matter of fact, who's it? The publisher, HarperCollins. She got a HarperCollins. And my daughter, Carrie, she's so talented. She's such a great artist. I just can see her doing something in graphic design. She's so good. Wow, amazing. And then his son, this boy I got, man, he's a trip. So he says, because I've been, I'm trying to figure out, what sport he likes. He's trying baseball, playing baseball, he likes baseball, but I think he's playing baseball because another kid that may be a little better than him right now because he hasn't played a lot of baseball. And he wants to be better than everybody. That's his thing. So his mom was riding with him. She said, Dallas says to me, Mama, what schools are the best schools in football? She said, well, that would probably be Alabama, Georgia, USC, Clemson, He said, what about my dad's school? He said, well, they're not that good right now, but, they. And he says, well, hey, let me tell you something. You need to start researching. You need to start researching where I'm going to go to school right now. I'm like, he's 10 years old. 10 years old. So a couple days later, I'm in the car with him. I said, Dallas, I heard the question you asked your mom. I said, let me explain something to you, son. I said, my mom tell you what the best schools are, Alabama. I said, Alabama, there's the best football schools right now. He said, well, maybe if I go there, my mom could move to Alabama. I said, hold it, wait, we're moving to Alabama. It ain't working like that. I said, let me kind of help you along. I said, when you pick a school, I said, first of all, I want you to pick the school you want to go to. I said, but you want to try to stay close to home. I said, let me use myself as an example. I said, I wanted to go to the University of Oklahoma. My mother told me, boy, you ain't going to live in no damn Oklahoma. What do you want to go to Oklahoma for? I said, but I didn't think about it like after. She says, you a Texas boy, you stay in the state of Texas. I said, so Dallas for you, we live in Southern California. I said, let's just use USC. USC's a great school. I said, if you play football, and I said, who knows, whatever you do, because he's really smart too. I said, you could possibly go to USC because it's right here. We don't have to get on a plane and fly. And he said, okay, I understand. I can understand that. It's amazing the conversation that you have with kids and, the understanding. Then he said something else it was so funny. He says, let me put this right. And he thought about it for a long time. He said, I don't want to have to have no girlfriend. I don't want to have no kids. You're 10 years old. I said, I don't want to be tied down. I said, okay. I said, good. I said, well, we had that conversation later. I said, well, if you be having no kids at 10 years old.
He's definitely your son.
Oh my God, for sure. I'm like, you don't want to be tied down like you don't want to be tied down.
Yeah. Eric, listen, thanks again for coming out, spending an hour with us.
Yeah, thank you.